What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. We got the two best fighters in the light heavyweight division fighting once again. In a rematch, we have the undisputed light heavyweight champion, undefeated light heavyweight champion, top 10 pound for pound fighter in boxing, Arthur Beterbiev, one of the most ferocious punchers in boxing. He has a PhD in the one-hitter quitter, and he was able to defeat Dmitry Bivol in that first encounter in a very, very close, controversial fight. I would say the majority of boxing fans thought that Dmitry Bivol won the fight, but it wasn't something like 90-10 thought Bivol won. I'd probably say around 60-40 in favor of Dmitry Bivol if you had to poll most people that watched the first fight. But I thought Arthur Beterbiev won the fight, and I got to give Arthur Beterbiev a lot of credit for winning that first fight. He was coming off multiple surgeries on his lower extremities going into that fight. He was out of the ring for well over a year. So for him to come back and beat a fighter with the pedigree of a Dmitry Bivol, you got to give this guy a lot of credit. He's not going to have to worry about this in the rematch. He was able to knock the rust out. He was able to, despite making a lot of mistakes, despite bringing what he said after the fight, his C-plus game, he was able to get a much significant victory over Dmitry Bivol. Now, Bivol was not at his best either, but I think he was closer to what we all seen throughout his illustrious boxing career, that being Dmitry Bivol. He was closer to himself than Beterbiev. Beterbiev was really a guy that took a long time to get going in the first fight. I think the first probably half of the fight, man, he probably was down 4-2, maybe even 5-1. If he was down 5-1, he probably wasn't able to make up enough ground, and even in the championship rounds, to get the win. But I thought it was like maybe 4-2 in the first 6 rounds. But I thought Beterbiev was able to rally in the championship round and eke out a 7 rounds to 5 decision victory over Dmitry Bivol. I think Bivol's got to be much more aggressive. He cannot be able to fight Beterbiev off the ropes. He cannot languish on the ropes. He's got to get off the ropes. He's got to keep this fight in the middle of the ring, because the one thing about Beterbiev, when you're throwing punches at him, he's going to be in the high guard. He's not a guy that really tries to punch with you. He's not looking to counter his opponent on a extensive basis. He'll do it at times, but that's not what he wants to do. That's not something that he thrives in. And if Bivol can just throw more punches and have more of a punch output, I think he'll have a lot of success versus Arthur Beterbiev. Now, Arthur Beterbiev is a guy that, he's got a decided power advantage over Bivol. Even when he's not catching with headshots, just hitting you on the arm, the hip, to the body, he's doing damage. Those shots take a toll over a 12-round affair, and he'll be looking to just be a little bit more responsible on defense, be a little bit more calculated on offense, and just be a little bit more precision with his offense. I thought he probably felt that a lot of punches that he normally land, he wasn't able to land, particularly early in the fight. I think his timing will be much better. I think he'll be able to close distance a little bit earlier than he did in the first fight. He had a hard time tracking Bivol down. Bivol did a good job of getting his shots off, getting out of range. And as the fight wore on, as Bivol legs start to tire, he's a guy that is in great shape. I'm not saying the guy ran out of gas, but over a 12-round affair, you're not going to be moving around as much in the round 10, round 11, and round 12 as you was in round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, round 6. Your legs are going to get weary and they're going to slow down. So he's probably going to be looking to be in a little bit much better shape, and he's going to be looking to keep the fight in the middle of the ring where he has a decided advantage as far as quickness, getting his punches off at a more timely rate, and he'll be able to take advantage of that fight in that regard. This fight's going to be about real estate. If the fight is fought in the middle of the ring 75% of the time throughout this 12-round affair, that's going to favor Dmitry Bivol. If Beterbiev can get him on the ropes, like he got him on the ropes in the second half of the fight, and he can do that for the majority of the fight, and it's going to be to his advantage. I look for Dmitry Bivol to have some success. I look for Dmitry Bivol to be a little bit more aggressive. I look for Dmitry Bivol to exchange a little bit more in this first fight than he did. In this rematch than he did in the first fight, and I think that will cause him to lose the rematch because you exchange with a guy with the power of Beterbiev, that will be to your detriment because I thought that in the first fight that the power got to Bivol. That's why he got to moving around and got to moving around. He really got to moving around, and it wasn't. It's nothing wrong with moving around and changing the way the fight is going on. Trying to reset and make your opponent reset and maybe start establishing the jab again. But he was doing a lot of unnecessary movement. He was moving out of more of a panic, in my opinion, in the first fight than calculation. You got to move with calculation. If you're moving with panic, that's not what you want to be moving with, panic. You got to be moving with calculation. Tying your opponent up, throw the jab, throw the 1-2, throw your combination. When your opponent get close, you tie him up, take the fight back to the middle of the ring. That's moving with calculation. When your opponents try to throw punches, you get out of harm's way, then you get back in the mid-range, throw your punches, and get back out of range. That's what Dmitry Bivol was going to have to do. I thought in the first fight he was moving more out of a panic, more out of desperation because the power was getting to him, particularly in the second half of the fight. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. The one thing about Dmitry Bivol that I have really thought about him as far as he's a great fighter, but this has been his problem throughout his career is he fights in one gear. I thought that was one of the main reasons why I didn't pick him to beat Canelo Alvarez. He actually beat Canelo. I said, man, I think he's probably going to be doing good in the first 6 rounds, but when Canelo makes the adjustments, start closing his distance, start landing those real powerful shots, those hooks going to the body, landing the straight right hand, stuff like that, that's when Bivol going to start having problems, and I think that's when Canelo takes over the fight. But he was able to basically beat Canelo decisively. As when Canelo did throw punches, he basically stayed in the high guard, and him being a naturally bigger guy, he was able to withstand Canelo's power punches, and when Canelo faded in the second half of the fight, he was able to take over the second half of the fight. And with him doing very well early in the fight, he was able to pull away from that fight and win that fight 9 rounds to 3, maybe 8-4 if you just being real generous as far as giving rounds to Canelo. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Very, very interesting fight, 50-50 fight. I like Dmitry Bivol's demeanor. He's a little bit more serious after suffering his first loss of his career to Arthur Beterbiev. He's going to be looking to exact revenge in a rematch. And if he's able to beat Beterbiev in a rematch, we will definitely see a trilogy sometime in the summer of 2025, as the winner of that fight will be able to say that I am the better fighter of the two. It'll be 1-1 at that point. But if Beterbiev is able to win this fight, he'll be won the both fights, and he'll be able to be saying, well, let me move on to other opponents at 175. I've proven that I am the better man when it comes to me and Dmitry Bivol. I've successfully beat him not once but twice. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Follow me on Facebook, Gerard Briscoe. Follow me on Instagram at JB Sports 3303. Follow me on TikTok at JB Sports New Media. Follow me on Twitch at Briscoe Jai 77071. Follow me on my YouTube channels at JB Sports, The Man, The Myth, The Legend 9656, and at JB Sports, The Man, The Myth, The Legend 8,000. And like, share, and subscribe. Before I tell you guys to like, share, and subscribe, let me know in the comment section who you like in this fight. If you like Beterbiev by decision, put it in the comment section. If you like Beterbiev by knockout, put the round you think he knocks him out in the comment section. If you like Bivol to win by decision, put it in the comment section. If you like Bivol to win by knockout, which I'd be surprised if anybody thinking Bivol gonna knock out Beterbiev. If he knocks out Beterbiev, that means that Father Time has tapped Beterbiev on the shoulder, because he's now fighting at 40 years old, but he's not had a lot of wars. He ain't had a lot of wear and tear, and he's been kind of inactive the last several years, which could play dividends for him. Actually, when you get older, man, sometimes it's good not to be fighting 2 or 3 times a year. Maybe you fight once a year. Look at what Crawford doing. Crawford basically fighting once a year. When you get a little bit older, you kind of conserve yourself. So it might not be a bad thing, but at the same time, Arthur Beterbiev is 40 years old. Sometimes it happens overnight. Will Father Time tap him on the shoulder. If that's the case, then Bivol will get the victory tomorrow night. But if you do like Bivol by knockout, put the round that you think he gets the knockout in the comment section. And like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. And I holla.